It began with a single disappearance, then one body, then another, and another. By the time police realized what they were dealing with, it was too late. Long Island had become a hunting ground for a brutal and methodical serial killer. More than a decade has passed since the first chilling discovery along Gilgo Beach, but the true identity of the Long Island serial killer, or LISK, remains unknown. The case has baffled investigators, sparked endless theories, and left families desperate for answers. But the most terrifying part? The killer could still be out there, watching, waiting, and ready to strike again. To understand this horrifying case, we must go back to the night of May 1st, 2010. A woman named Shannon Gilbert, a 24-year-old escort, made a frantic 911 call from the gated community of Oak Beach, Long Island. She was hysterical, telling the dispatcher that someone was trying to kill her. Instead of waiting for help, Shannon ran into the darkness, disappearing into the marshland near the shore. Police conducted a search, but found nothing. It seemed like just another missing person case, until 7 months later, in December 2010, when officers searching for Shannon stumbled upon a shocking discovery. Buried in the brush along Ocean Parkway, they found the remains of a woman wrapped in burlap. Within days, they found another, and another, and another. By the time the search ended, 4 bodies had been recovered, all young women who had worked as escorts. The realization hit hard. This was not a coincidence. A serial killer had been using the isolated beaches of Long Island as a dumping ground, and he had likely been doing it for years. But the horror did not stop there. As authorities expanded their search in the following months, they uncovered even more remains. By spring 2011, a total of 10 bodies had been found along the desolate stretch of Gilgo Beach, including partial remains linked to unidentified victims from cases dating back as far as 1996. Some of the victims had been dismembered, with body parts scattered across different locations, leading police to suspect multiple killers or a deeply disturbed individual with a chillingly organized method. The 4 women initially found, Maureen Brainerd Barnes, Melissa Barthelemy, Megan Waterman, and Amber Lynn Costello, shared eerie similarities. All had advertised their services online, all had vanished without a trace, and all had been wrapped in burlap before being discarded in the same remote area. Their deaths suggested a killer who was careful, methodical, and terrifyingly efficient. But one aspect of the case made it even more disturbing: the phone calls. Shortly after Melissa Barthelemy disappeared in 2009, her younger sister began receiving taunting phone calls from an unknown man. He used Melissa's phone to make the calls, and each time, he mocked the grieving family. He reportedly told her that Melissa was dead, even offering graphic details of what he had done to her. The calls were traced to locations in Manhattan, but the killer was careful. He never stayed on the line long enough to be pinpointed. It was clear he was playing a game, and he was winning. Despite extensive investigations, LISK has never been identified. Some theories suggest he is a local with deep knowledge of Long Island's secluded areas. Others believe he may be a member of law enforcement, given his ability to avoid detection for so long. Some even suspect that multiple killers may be responsible, possibly linked to human trafficking or underground criminal networks. And then there's Shannon Gilbert. The woman whose disappearance led to this gruesome discovery was eventually found. Her remains were located in December 2011, not far from where she vanished. But unlike the others, police ruled her death an accident, suggesting that she had become lost in the marsh and drowned. Her family, however, refuses to believe it. They insist that she too was murdered, and that her 911 call was the desperate cry of a woman who knew she was being hunted. To this day, the case remains open. Investigators have pursued countless leads, and in 2020, they released a new clue. A belt found near one of the crime scenes with the initials WH or HM embossed on it. But so far, it has led nowhere. In 2023, authorities made an arrest that reignited interest in the case. But whether this person is truly LISK or just another suspect in a long list of possibilities remains to be seen. The Long Island serial killer is still a ghost, a name without a face, a predator who may still walk among us. Is he still hunting? Has he stopped? Or is he simply waiting for the perfect moment to strike again? There is also the question of whether the police investigation has missed something, or if the killer has been hiding in plain sight for all these years. Could it be that this individual is someone with connections to the area, someone who could blend into the community, or someone who knows how to avoid attention, perhaps even working within the legal system or law enforcement? Many speculate that this type of killer may be a law enforcement officer or someone with intimate knowledge of police procedures, allowing them to evade detection for so long. Some theorists have pointed to the presence of certain key details in the case that suggest the killer's connection to law enforcement, though nothing has been proven. But what is most disturbing of all is the thought that this killer might still be active. Does the Long Island serial killer still roam the streets of New York, hunting for his next victim? Or has he stopped, perhaps after feeling the heat from the increasing media attention? The reality is that no one knows for sure, and that uncertainty is what keeps the mystery alive. What do you think happened to the victims of LISK? Do you believe the killer is still out there, hiding in plain sight, just waiting for the right moment to strike again? Could he have simply vanished, slipping through the cracks of the investigation and evading capture for years? Or has he stopped, perhaps satisfied with the chilling legacy he's left behind, knowing that his identity remains one of the darkest mysteries in true crime? Could there be something even more disturbing at play? Someone involved who has managed to escape suspicion, blending into society without a trace, leading a seemingly normal life while harboring such dark secrets. Is it possible that the killer's methodical approach to his crimes means he has grown more careful, more sophisticated in his evasion tactics? Or could there be another sinister explanation? That there are more victims out there yet to be discovered, perhaps buried under the weight of a larger conspiracy, one that remains just out of reach of the authorities. The fact that no one truly knows the answers to these questions makes this case all the more chilling. Let us know your theories and thoughts in the comments below. Do you think we're getting closer to the truth? Or is the identity of the Long Island serial killer destined to remain a haunting mystery? What are your thoughts on the most unsettling aspects of this case? Could the killer still be out there? Or is he hiding in plain sight, living among us? If you're as fascinated by true crime mysteries as we are, and want to dive deeper into some of the most perplexing, unresolved cases, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Stay tuned as we continue to uncover the dark, unsolved truths that have eluded investigators for decades. Together, we'll dive into the stories that haunt us and try to piece together the puzzles that remain unsolved. Until next time, stay safe, stay vigilant, and always remember, monsters don't always hide in the shadows. Sometimes, they're right next door, walking among us, and you might not even realize it until it's too late. That's the chilling truth we all have to face, and it's the reality of living in a world where even the most terrifying killers can remain unseen, unknown, and uncaught.